This is Nick Fuentes here. He is a Nazi. I mean, full-blown, self-avowed Nazi. Like, he loves Hitler. Quote, unquote, I love Hitler. That's what he says. Anyway, I want to talk about him because he got himself in some hot water, got doxed. Some woman showed up to his house and he pepper sprayed her. I want to talk about the whole thing. Let me tell you why he's facing criticism at this moment, aside from the fact that he's a Nazi. After Trump won, he started a meme, your body, my choice. Your body, my choice. And he went out there on air and just repeated it over and over and over and talked about how great it is that Trump won and now I control women's bodies. Blah, 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 blah. You know, women did not take kindly to that, obviously. So let's listen to him and see what he has to say here. Yeah, this one is immediate. I think this is the live stream after the election. So it's like November 5th, November 6th, somewhere in there.
Feel when we control your bodies. Hey, we control your bodies. Guess what? Guys win again, okay? Men win again. And yes, we control your bodies. Hi. I'm your Republican congressman. Hi, I'm your Republican congressman. It's your body, my choice. And men, women again. Men win again. There will never, ever be a female president. Never.
Well, like I said, if it makes you feel better, all this gloating led to some serious backlash, so.
There will never be a female president, ever. It's over. Glass ceiling? Dude, it's a ceiling made of bricks. You will never break it. Your stupid face keeps hitting the brick ceiling.
Well, I appreciate that he's admitting that there is a glass ceiling. I appreciate that he recognizes that there is systemic oppression of women, at the very least, right? But he doesn't care, of course. He wants there to be systemic oppression and control, obviously. He met with Donald Trump a while back. If you don't remember, he and Kanye West had dinner with Trump after Kanye went on this gigantic tirade about Jews. I mean, it was crazy stuff.
We will keep you down forever. You will never control your own bodies. You will never be the president of the global empire. Never gonna happen, sweetie. Your body, our choice.
Anyway, yeah, that got him in some hot water. People did not like that. They doxed his address and somebody showed up.
Hi. Oh my God, what are you doing?
Out of here.
Okay, so the phone seems to be in his house. How did she get that back? How did she get the phone back? Did he open it and throw it out? I don't know exactly where he is now. I heard that he was staying with his parents at this point. I'm not sure. Anyway, my address was doxed once because I reported a teacher for telling students that she doesn't agree with people that are gay or trans. She just doesn't agree with it. She thinks it's wrong, and so on and so forth. Anyway, I reported her, and they wrote a cease and desist letter, basically, the FFRF did. And it just, yeah, it went downhill from there. They doxed me on some Facebook page. I mean, a lot of people were paying attention to what was going on at the time. I did not ask for any money. I asked for none. And people got my PayPal address from like my description and donated like mad to me. And I appreciated that so much. It actually helped a lot because I needed to move like immediately. And I had planned on moving. My lease was coming to an end and I was ready to go and I was packing my things and everything, but I had to move it up by like a month. And moving at all is crazy expensive, like insanely expensive. So all the donations I got, you know, it just showed how much the community cares. It was just incredible. But anyway, it was scary to have my name doxxed. There's a Facebook page that I forget what it's called, Team Ashworth or something. It was a teacher's name. It had 1,800 people on this Facebook page in a town of 3,500. So effectively half of the town was on this Facebook page dedicated to doxing me and attacking me, and it was nuts. Like I would just be sitting there at my desk in my living room. Every single car that passed honked. And it's just a honk, but that's disturbing. You hearing this, a car passing once every 3 or 4 minutes. Every 3 or 4 minutes, a car passes and honks their horn. They're just letting you know that they're there and they know that you are there and that they're not happy with you. I mean, it's real scary. So to get back to the point here, Nick Fuentes, his address was doxed, much like mine was. Although, I was defending separation of church and state. He is just being a shithead. So slightly different situations, I suppose. His address is doxed, and I'm sure he's getting the honks too. Like, that's the first thing, is the honks. That's where it starts. And the phone calls, they look you up and they find your phone number and everything else. I guess he came prepared with the pepper spray and chose to just pepper spray somebody. Absolutely wild. I mean, I don't think that anybody should be going up to his door anyway, in my personal opinion. They're on his private property now, so whatever happens, happens. And that is one good reason why you should not be on his property. Because, you're on his turf now. Like, you are in danger more than if you were just on the street. Do not go up to his house. So anyway, yeah, this has got to be a scary experience for him, is the point. It has to be a scary experience, because I know what it's like. Like, I don't justify any kind of violence or anything like that, but he struck fear in the hearts of countless people when he said that. Your body, my choice. And now he's getting a taste of that fear. So, limited sympathy, as I said. In this one, he kind of quadruples down and explains why he feels the way he feels. And it sounds like hyperbole, what he's about to say. It's not. He really feels this way.
So I am now going viral on TikTok, Twitter, Google search trends for my very funny clip on my election night stream. In a moment of exuberance and jubilation,
Okay.
I excitedly declared that since Donald Trump became the president, women's bodies are now under our control. And I mean that. I said it's their body, but it is our choice. And politically, I'm obsessed with controlling women's bodies.
He's saying it like it's sarcasm, but it's actually not sarcasm. If you know anything about Nick Fuentes, you'll know that this is real. Like I said, full-blown Nazi. Like Hitler-loving Nazi. Also, I'm sure I don't need to say it, but I'm going to anyway. I think it's pretty clear that your body, my choice has sexual undertones. Is that, I'm trying to find a polite way to say this. It has undertones of basically.
I'm going to tell them what they're allowed to do with them. It's my decision. We as males, we as men control their bodies. They have no say in the matter, and that comes to abortion as well as every other issue. Henceforth, men will be controlling what you eat, what you wear.
You know what? Let me just jump to the end of this clip so that you understand why I say this isn't sarcasm.
And this is subject to the law according to Project 2025.
That's pretty clear, right? This is not a joke.
What you eat, what you wear, whether you can have an abortion, what your hair looks like, when and whether you can cut your hair. We'll be controlling how much makeup you wear, what you do with your nails. We'll be controlling who you have sex with. We'll be controlling where you live and where you go, what time you go to bed. We're going to be controlling all of that. And this is subject to the law according to Project 2025.
There you go. This is real. He's not joking. That is what he intends. That, in his ideal world, that is what would happen. Again, Nazi, Hitler lover. Look, I feel like I have to prove that. Even though most people have probably heard of him, let me just show one clip. Fuentes went on Alex Jones with Kanye West, and then they met with Trump. I think it was after this. Yeah, I believe it was after they met with Alex Jones. They had dinner with Trump, Kanye West, and Nick Fuentes. Fuentes on the right here, and Kanye West under this black mask. I guess he didn't want what he's about to say tied to his image.
This uniform's amazing. But I mean, just because you're in love with the design, you're a designer. Can we just kind of say like you like the uniforms, but that's about
No,
it?
no. There's a lot of things that I love about Hitler. A lot of things.
Look at this dude on the right, bobbing his head. Yeah, gotta love Hitler. I mean, what is wrong with you? I feel like, I've done so much research into the Nazis recently because I wrote a book about it. Was Hitler an atheist? Check it out. And Amazon and Audible. OwenMorgan.com. You can get a signed copy. Anyway, Hitler was not insane. He was 100% in his right mind. It's just that his mind was poisoned with racism. Hitler was not the result of insanity. I cannot stress that enough. It was just the end result of what we have in the United States with racism. If it gets worse and worse and worse and worse, its eventual end is Nazi Germany. Now, you can say we're not in Germany right now in the 30s or whatever. In the United States, that's not what it's like. Sure, absolutely, you're right. It's not. But we are going down that road on a smaller scale right now. Now, how far down the road are you willing to go? It was pure, unadulterated racism. And Nick Fuentes seems to have realized that with Hitler. He seems to have realized that it wasn't just a nutcase doing nutcase things and hurting people just for the sake of it. He was trying to build out a perfect society. And for the record, Hitler was a big fan of American segregation laws and used them as a model in Germany. I mean, I got that from a historical, factual book. There's, this isn't like me being a left winger or something. He really liked the anti-race mixing laws that existed at the time, the racial purity or whatever. He even said something to the effect of the Americans have their racial purity goals in line or somewhere in that vicinity. So anyway, Nick Fuentes seems to have realized all of that and is all in. He likes it. That's insane. Not to mention the fact that just check this picture out. This is Nazis in Columbus, Ohio. It's in Columbus, Ohio right now, like 3 days ago or something. I have to imagine that these people know what Hitler stood for. They must, right? Because it isn't just about being absolutely insane. It's about racial purity. I have to imagine that these people have read about it and recognize that Hitler was not insane. He just wanted racial purity. And that's what they're striving for. I mean, it is obscene to wave a swastika flag around today. You have to really know what you're doing to do something like that, it seems to me. To have the apple bag to do some like that. Absolutely wild, man. Anyway, let's talk more about Nick Fuentes. Let's get a better kind of feel for where Nick Fuentes stands on the issue of women and how they should be treated in the United States. By the way, as far as I can tell, I think this is my low stakes conspiracy. I personally believe that he's gay. He accidentally played some gay adult entertainment at the end of a live stream by mistake, I guess not realizing he was still streaming. I covered it a while back if you want to find that. It's pretty funny. He's a hard right Catholic. Doesn't believe in race mixing, doesn't believe in gay people or any of that stuff. And as far as I know, he's never had a girlfriend. He is an incel. Actually, he's a volcel. He's voluntarily celibate. Anyway, that's the kind of the perspective he's coming at these women's issues from. So buckle up. I'm sorry, one more thing. Q says, we're all the same race, human race. Yeah, there are no different races like that. Like, race is a designation that was created by people and is meaningless. Like, oh my God, what were the designations forever ago? Mongoloid, I think, was for Asians, and then what were they? Hold on. So I'm gonna have to say this word. I will blank it out if it's improper. But Caucasoid and Negroid races. Those are the original races, the things that people believed in, all the way back in I don't know, when was this? It's probably 200 years ago. I'm guessing 1870. Yeah, this is 1870 when they believed in this stuff. So anyway, the racial distinctions that we have today are equally as valid as these in Caucasoid and stuff and others. Australozoids, or Australoids, I guess, for Australians, Australoids. And melanocroy? I'm not even sure. Anyway, it's made up. It's fictitious. We are one race. We are the human race. Anyway, let's listen to Nick Fuentes here.
We're allowing women to go out into the society and lie and bear false witness and cast spells and worship minerals and rocks.
Okay, we're allowing women to do these things. Freedom. We're giving people freedom is what he's saying. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a core value of America.
And women are out there naked and they're killing babies and they're getting to be 300 pounds and they get in your face and we can't do anything about it. You can't hit these people.
Okay.
You can't punch them. They don't arrest them. And basically they're taking over the culture on social media. I said, what happened to the good old days 1,000 years ago when people like this, instead of arguing with them or saying, hey, listen, darling, everything's okay, they would dunk them in the river or burn them alive. I said, this is the kind of thing that we need to see more of, is burning them alive a little bit more.
I thought he was going to say burning them alive a little bit. And I was like, that's kind of an on or off situation, isn't it? Somebody says, where are these naked women? Yeah, tell me where these naked women are so that I can avoid them. I'd appreciate that.
Taking women like this, and instead of, hiring a lawyer for all this money and we're going to sue him for defamation, how about we go to the constable or whatever, we go to the police officer, the soldier stationed in the village, and say, hey, we got to burn her alive. Hey, this woman is worshiping rocks. She's bearing false witness. She's lying about men. And basically, we need to capture her and throw her in the lake.
You thought I was being hyperbolic when I said that he's not being sarcastic with all that stuff earlier, right? You thought he was being sarcastic, didn't you? He is deadpan right now. This is not a joke. He espouses these ideas on a regular basis. You should hear what he has to say about the black community or the Jews. Oh my God, dude. He does not shut up about hating. That's it. That's all that's in there.
Or set her on fire. I feel like that would be more appropriate. And everybody freaked out. And this was all over Twitter. And everybody said, oh, this is horrible. Is this guy for real? Yeah, I'm for real.
Yeah, there you go. He said it himself. He's for real. Here's the thing about it. We have a certain amount of freedom right now. Did you notice that he specifically singled out women as the ones that, like, worship rocks or whatever? I'm assuming he's talking about, like, crystals or, whatever the hell they do with crystals and minerals and all that stuff. Do you notice that he singled out women? I mean, there are men that do that too. Why didn't he mention the men? Why didn't he just say everybody? Anybody who worships blah, 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 should be burned at the stake. No, it's women specifically. Why? Because he wants to control women. Your body, his choice. That is what he wants. He wants to punish women for all of the incels in his audience, I guess. He could very easily find a wife if he wanted. He's young and he's not like, ugly. He's not, he doesn't have like warts growing out of his face and just teeth that are sticking out and all this. He's an okay looking person. He could find a wife. Why doesn't he? I think he's gay. And I think that he's embraced the incel kind of ideology and he's trying to hurt women on their behalf. This guy is nuts. Seriously. Check this clip out. This is what he wants in his ideal kind of government. This is what he wants the United States to be.
You got to recognize the fact that this is a godless country. I hate it. It's immoral, it's wrong, it's heinous, it's evil. But this is an evil country. And this country will surprise you with how evil it is. And that's why you got to get this out of your head that there is some silent majority cavalry that's going to come out of the woods and save us at the last minute. It's not. Yeah,
that's kind of a QAnon belief. I'm assuming he's shouting out to the QAnon thing there.
When we meet the left on the battlefield and they outnumber us like 5-1, that's it. But the point is, when you look at these things like abortion, it's popular. People like abortion, hate it, but it's true. And you can thank the Jewish media for that.
Thank the Jewish media for that. for people loving abortion. Okay.
Abortion's popular. Sodomy's popular. You know,
Yeah, a ton of people like doing that. Absolutely. Again, freedoms. They're freedoms. You're inserting yourself into people's lives right now. You're taking people's freedom away because it makes you happy. People are not affecting Nick Fuentes' life by being gay or by getting an abortion or whatever. They're not affecting him. Why does he want to stop this stuff so much? I think it's because he's trying to collapse U.S. democracy into an authoritarian system. And I think he's getting there, honestly.
being gay is popular. Being a feminist is popular. Sex out of wedlock is popular. Contraceptives are, it's all popular.
Oh, yeah, he's against contraception also, birth control. He doesn't like that. No birth control.
Popular. That's all. That's not to say it's good. That's not to say I like that. Popular means the people support it, which they do. And it sucks, and it is what it is, but that's why we need dictatorship. That's unironically why we need to get rid of all that. We need to take control of the media or take control of the government and force the people to believe what we believe, or force them to play by our rules and reshape the society.
Dude is gigantic. He's got a massive following. Blows me out of the water. He's huge. This is popular. These ideas are popular. He's saying that, you know, it's popular to get abortions and it's popular to have birth control and all that stuff. Yeah, but those are normal things that don't affect anybody else. His ideas do affect everybody. Absolutely nuts, man. Check this one out. This is his thoughts on black people. Buckle up.
You know, these left-wing people, in their heart of hearts, they know they're wrong because, like, they know that black people are violent. You know, I will say, hey, black people are violent. And then they'll go, I bet you wouldn't say that in front of a black person. Why? Because they're a thug that'll hit me? Like, so you know it too. Okay, so you agree with me.
He kind of goes on to repeat himself in the rest of this clip, but I've never heard anybody say that. You wouldn't say that in front of a black person, but I've heard that sentiment before. And the idea is, don't say something about somebody that you wouldn't be willing to say in front of them. It's not that they're going to hit you. It's that you're going to hurt them and you're going to feel awkward for it. Aside from that, it doesn't, like, don't say that in front of not just like black people, but anybody to the left of hunting the homeless for sport. Anybody would hear that and think you are monstrously evil with some of the things that he says. And it's, again, it's not about hitting. It's about pure, unadulterated disgust. Black people are not more, black people, there is no inherent violence to black people that is not there with other people. That's just fictitious. He's just pulling that out of thin air. And, you know, this stuff, this whole inherently evil thing or whatever, this is another Nazi belief. This is Nazi propaganda. They claimed that there were two races, well, and others, but the main two, the Aryans, which were like white people in their minds, and the Semites, which is not actually a racial group. It's a language group, but not a racial group. Anyway, the Nazis believed that if you were from the Semitic lineage or whatever, the Semitic ancestry, you were evil. Like, it doesn't matter if you were raised a Christian. It doesn't matter if you haven't, you know, had anything to do with Jewish people at all in like 2 generations. If you have the blood in you, you are evil, and there's no fixing it. That's why they wrote the Aryan paragraph originally. Again, I talk about it at length. I even quote the Aryan paragraph in my book, Was Hitler an Atheist? Give it a read. Check it out. It's right here. Really good book. And I have some really rare pictures that you won't find anywhere else. You can find them on my website too. So I guess one other place. Anyway, the Aryan paragraph was a paragraph in German law that said Jews are not allowed to be in civil service. Like, they can't be police officers, they can't be firemen, they can't whatever. They can't work for the government in any way. And the Aryan paragraph is particularly important because it defines what an Aryan is and what a non-Aryan is. Non-Aryans are anybody that has a grandparent that was Jewish or a grandparent that went to a synagogue. That is non-Aryan. or anybody that marries a non-Aryan, you are now non-Aryan. Because it had a whole bunch of weird beliefs about, like, if you mate with somebody, then your DNA will stay attached to that person forever. And every kid that you have will have some of your DNA, even if you die and you're separate for like 20 years. Fictitious, ridiculous, nonsensical garbage. Der Stürmer was a kind of a newspaper. It was like a tabloid that was like far-right extremist, and they spread that idea at the time. Anyway, the point is, in Germany, they spread these ideas about inherent racial inferiority. People were incapable of being good because it was just in their blood. And what do we have now? Nick Fuentes making the same argument.
Say, hey, black people are violent, and then they'll go, I bet you wouldn't say that in front of a black person. Why? Because they're a thug that'll hit me? Like,
he's making the same argument. He talks a lot about like 1350 is a Nazi talking point, a Nazi dog whistle, 1350. Black people are 13% of the population, but they commit 50% of the crimes. I don't think that's accurate. There's a lot of nuance to that, but either way, it's the result of one of two things. Either it's environmental, and we can fix it. If it's environmental, we can put money into like fixing these communities and create like a jobs program so that they're, putting money into these communities and all this other stuff. Like, there are ways to fix this. Create opportunities to go to college for people who are part of a minority and have historically been oppressed. There are ways to fix it if it's environmental. If it's not environmental, then your argument is that it's genetic, and then you're just a Nazi. If you're making an argument that race determines people's degree of violence or intelligence or whatever, you are simply a Nazi. And, as we know, he is pretty open about that one. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. He's a complete scumbag. And I'm having a hard time having any sympathy for him. I do, however, get why he would open the door and just pepper spray. I get that. After dealing with it myself, I understand that urge. But yeah, sympathy is like on the floor at this point. I'm negative sympathy now. I've cycled back around to enjoyment. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments.